going on? How y'all doing? Good morning, I guess I should say. Let me just check real quick where my audio is coming from. That's pretty cool. That's a cool feature. All right, so I don't know where my audio is coming from. I'm hoping they're coming from my earbuds. Cause the phone is gonna be further away from me because I'm gonna set you guys up with the view that I'm partaking in today. It's a very good view. I love it. It's peaceful, man. I'm at the lake in my city or in my town. Is it a town? I guess we're big enough to be a town. So I'm at the lake over here where I live, and it's just so beautiful, so peaceful. And I like to have conversations on here. If you've been on my channel before, you've seen the lake. If you haven't been on my channel, go check out some of the other videos on my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment to get the conversation going, because this is a Let's Talk. The difference between a Let's Talk and like a podcast is in the podcast, I usually never do them live. And then in the podcast, you can't join in the conversation because I don't do them live. And when I do them live, it's like I have a itinerary for the podcast, so I wouldn't really have time for questions. But for the Let's Talk, um, I'm pretty good at keeping the conversation where I want it to go. So I'm very confident in letting people, come in on the lives. Yo, check it out. If this dude, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm about to flip the camera around so you guys can see things. There's an airboat right here that is so cool. That is just so cool. So cool, bro. Let me set the camera up for a quick second. You're gonna see you're gonna see the airboat go by. Once again, listen to that sound. If you guys can tell, the air is it's like a big fan on top of the boat, and it's pushing the water to push the boat forward. So with an airboat, there's no propellers in the well, I guess there's a guider in the water. But not even. I think that you can guide the air, yeah. So there's no propellers in the water. I just think that's crazy. I grew up like when I was younger on this lake, and I'm gonna get to we're gonna get there, we're gonna get there. But when I was younger on this lake, they used to do alligator hunting. They used to like it'd be about 10 airboats go out and they would just go and just get alligators. Today, I'm pretty sure they stopped alligator hunting. There used to be a season for it. I'm pretty sure they stopped it, and so there's a lot of gators in this water. They'll pop up. I'm sure my buddies will pop up, and they're people friendly. Well, they come close to the bank because I guess people feed them. People come out and feed them or whatever, and they come up close to the bank and everything. So I hopefully want to pop up. I want to make sure if anybody do come in, I want to make sure I be in a position to read your comment or questions. All right, so we're gonna get into today's conversation. Today's Let's Talk. I set this up yesterday. I apologize. I was supposed to do this last night. I just didn't have time. I went home after because usually I set up these conversations. If I do a short video while I'm driving, I'm usually driving home from work, and I work overnights majority of my shifts. And yesterday I went and got in bed around like 10:30. I didn't wake up to 5:30. I was like, man, I've never slept that long. I don't really sleep that long. So when I got up at 5:30, I did dinner with the kids, and by the time I was done with dinner and everything and all that, it was like 7, and the kids was hanging out in the living room, and I was like, "Yo, should I do this as a Bible study with them?" And then I remember on Thursday nights is our Bible study, and I didn't want to fight them to get them together, to get them away from what they was doing to do that. And then the house was a kind of like a little loud, so I was like, you know what? I just do it early in the morning. One of them is going to summer school, and the other two stays up all night. So um, I have a lot of time in the mornings to sneak away and do things. I'm getting over a cold. Excuse me. You probably can hear it in my voice. It's a little raspy. I said that yesterday in the video too. But today we're gonna be talking about the cycle of division. Before we get into the conversation, where I'm coming from in this conversation, I just kind of want to break down what I mean about a cycle division, right? So a cycle is like a time. It's like a time clock, right? And the cycle I'm talking about is things that keep coming back, back, and back. When I was younger, y'all gotta excuse me. I told you I'm getting over a cold. I'm at the tail end of it, and a lot of mucus is coming out of my body, and I apologize. That throws you off. But in our culture, it seems like we don't solve anything. No problems get solved. I remember coming up, problem solving was a big part of learning how to do stuff, right? Problem solving. Today's world, we don't. It seems like we don't solve problems, and especially these handful of problems that I'm talking about. And they keep us in these cycles. They keep us in these cycles. I don't know when you listening to this, but if you agree with me, hit the like button, and then let me know if you don't agree with me. Let me know why you don't agree with me. It's just a conversation. But in this cycle is a few things. There's abortion. There's the LGBTQ community, the different LGBTQ communities, they use that in the cycle. There is Donald Trump. There is now the January 6th. There is war. They use war, and it's usually racism. They use racism, and it's usually these few things. Well, I'm not gonna say racism. I'm gonna say isms, because it could be racism, sexism, isms. The Me Too movement was a ism. It was sexism, right? They use these things. Now, I want to qualify this conversation by saying this. I'm not saying there's not hate towards these groups or towards these things. I'm not saying there's a disagreement towards these things. I'm not saying that you're wrong for having disagreements in these things. That's not what this conversation is. This conversation is, why do they keep coming up? Most importantly, this is the point. This is right here where you gotta really think. Well, I really want you to think. Why do they keep coming up? And who is bringing them up? So let me answer that question. So we know what the cycle is. Why do I'm sorry. Who keeps bringing them up? Before we get into why they keep coming up, I want to get into who's bringing them up. Now, on that, I just want to use Psalms 2, just the beginning. If you guys can go to Psalms 2. Um, and we're gonna break down Psalms 1 later, but Psalms 2, we go to Psalms 2, and I just want to set something up. So we go into Psalms 2. Um, It says, why do the, I'm sorry, Psalms 2 and the first verse says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine vain things? The kings of the earth set themselves up and the rulers to take counsel together against the Lord, against his anointing, saying, let us break our bands asunder and cast their cords from us. Now, I want to just leave it there. It says that the rulers in 2, Psalms 2, 2, the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers could take counsel together. That is the who. That is the who. That is the who. So I'm a security guard, and as a security, oh look, there's a little gator on the screen. Look at that. It's a decent size. Probably about a good 5 footer, 5 to 6 foot. That's probably a good 5 to 6 foot. If you want to know how you tell, you count from their nose to the end part of what's in the water. So you count inches. So every inch is a foot size. So he looked like that's about 6 inches. So he's about 6 foot. He's about 5 or 6 foot. Pretty nice sized gator. But anyways, going back to the teaching, we found out the who. It is the rulers. It is the kings. For them to stay, I don't want to get into the why, but that's who it is. That's who it is. Now, let's get into how. Before we get into why, let's get into the how. The how is media. Media is how they use what they use to control us. The media, CNN, Fox News, they play like they're different, but there's a reason. It's not the news media, social media. You know, there was a guy. A lot of people would know this guy. He's kind of famous. Well, he's social. I know he's definitely social media famous. There was a guy named Kevin Samuels. He passed about a month ago now, and was it about a month ago now. And when he passed, I went and watched a couple of his videos. Now, I would be lying and say I've never heard of him until that moment because I did, and I did a little research on him before and seen some of his videos, and I seen some of his talking points, and I didn't feel like his direction that he was going in really didn't have nothing to say to me. Some of his older videos when he talked about how man can improve their life and stuff, I was into those videos. I think we need more of that. I struggle myself with. Maybe I should get into that, but I got too much going on. But anyways, let me get a drink of water, and you guys enjoy. Oh, it's a whole family. They're doing rides. It's a little family. They're doing little rides around the lake. That's pretty cool. Enjoy this airboat. That is just so wonderful and amazing to me. And look at the little streaky leaves on the water. That's pretty cool. But get back to Kevin Samuels. I seen how number one, his message was was bringing was whether he meant it or not. I can't judge that, but it was bringing division, right? It was dividing people, mostly men versus women. I can't judge the intention. That's not what this video is. I bring him up to say this is when he died. I went back and looked at some of his looked at a couple of videos on his recent work, and what I was inundated with was a bunch of other people that was doing videos that was men versus women. Now, whether you want to say his stuff was man versus woman, that's on you. I'm not. That's not the argument that I'm having. But what the social media did, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all these, what they was doing was immediately just because I watch his stuff, they bring me content from other content creators that was doing man and woman division. Men and women was doing it, the man and woman division. You had some women who was saying things for men and dividing the women. You had some men saying things for the women and they was dividing the men. It went every which way you can go. And I looked and I said, wow, this is crazy. Then I went and literally I had to go to like every channel, every time a channel pop up. And listen, mind you, it was just after just studying Kevin Samuels. Just after studying Kevin Samuels. Um, I went and I had to do the not interested into this channel. So I wouldn't get stuff from those channels. On Instagram, I still haven't been back on my account because it was just too inundated. And I wasn't big on Instagram anyways. I'm really not that big on Instagram. But you can go check my Instagram out at Delacey Howard, or you can go to Third Movement Instagram. You know that they still haven't gave me my Facebook page back yet. I don't know what's going on. I don't think I'm getting that page back. Looking like I may need to make a new Facebook page. All that content that was on there that people could have watched. Good thing it's on YouTube as well. So if you want to see my content, just go to YouTube. If you find this from somebody else's channel, it's Third Ministries on YouTube and everywhere else. The reason why I named it Third is following the scriptures. Many people say Jesus did away with the law. He did not do away with the law. He fulfilled the law. Everything that you had to do in the law, Jesus fulfilled it with two things, with two commitments: the commitment to love God, and then the commitment to love people. He did away with it. He fulfilled. I won't say he did away. He fulfilled the law with you loving God, loving people, and also believing in Him, of course. Let's get back to the video. Um, Sorry, had to do that. So they use that's a little picture of how they use the media, how the rulers, people in power, use the media to divide you. So we have the who and the how. Let's get into the when. It's all the time. It's in every movie. It's in every show. It's all the time. It's little stuff that you may not even notice. Go watch. I was watching it was a commercial, the soap commercial. What's that? The Old Spice commercial with the Dion character. He's crying. Well, him and his wife are at counseling, and he's crying because I guess she uses his soap. And the counselor look at Dion and like, yeah, it's okay, let it out. Get him to a vulnerable position. And then as soon as he started talking, she went, oh, that's all the time we got, and cuts him off. And her and the other girl, they kind of laugh. Like they putting that. You see the division between. You see the division they're trying to cause. It's everywhere in every little thing. It's subtle. It's things that you got to pay attention to. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of stuff. And what I do watch, man, it's hard for me to finish because once I start seeing it, I get disinterested in it. it just gets me disinterested. So we have the what, the when, the where, and now let's get into the why. Why is there division like this? How much time I got? Okay, we working pretty good. We got a good time. We're going good timing. I don't like to make these long let's talk when no one's in. Now, if there was questions, we can probably go a little longer, but I'm only trying to go 30 to 40 minutes. So that's my key. That's my lucky spot right there. So get into the why. I always tell people this. I tell people this all the time. When they say, "Did you hear about Roe versus Wade being overturned?" How do you feel about that? It makes no sense no more to give my opinion anymore, because if you don't know who I am and you don't know what I believe in, then there's no profitable thing in this conversation. What do I mean by that? So majority of people I talk to, they know who I am. They know why I am. They know I'm a very faithful man. I try to walk. I built on the word of God. I try to walk right. I try to live right. I try to preach things that are uplifting to you from the standpoint of the word, from the standpoint of God, and from the standpoint of being a good person in society. So so if they when the abortion conversation comes up around me, the only thing I can do is be a hypocrite. That's the only thing that I could do that'll make the people around me think different. Cause they know, okay, me and my wife, we're not getting abortions. My kid just come up pregnant, she's not getting an abortion. That's who I am. That's what I believe in, and no changing that. Now, am I gonna argue with you about what I believe? No, this is what I believe. I got the right to believe it. We'll get a conversation about that right, the word rights. We'll get a conversation about that too later. I don't know if I have time in this conversation, but we definitely gonna get into the conversation about that word rights. I'm setting something up. I really hope you guys are able to follow me. I'm really trying to set something up. So the whole conversation of abortion, it really is not profitable to me. The conversation of sexual assault, same thing. Same thing. You know why I stand on these things. I'm not finna defend why I stand on these things, because I don't care how you feel about what I stand about. I stand on these things. This is what I believe in. I don't I don't say anything different than what I believe in. I don't live anywhere different than what I believe in. So there's no reason for me to have to get in the abortion conversation. I then take the conversation to, but why is it coming up? That's when it's important. The most important thing is why. Why? Why? That is the most important question. See, I'm teaching the kids, you gotta think. You gotta use these things to come to an understanding, and you cannot solve a problem without the understanding of it. The what, the when, the where, the how, the why, these things are important to problem solving. These things are important to moving the culture forward. If we're going to move the culture forward in any way. Now, as a man of God, It's not on me to move the culture forward. It's on me to be someone who is in the culture, bringing the knowledge of Christ, bringing the knowledge of the goodness of God. That's my job. That's my job in the culture. Because I know if I give people Jesus, the real Jesus, then their life gonna change. This has been proven. I can't change no one life, but I can take something to them that can. Get back to the why. Why do the country, the countries and the leaders of these countries, why do they spend so much into the media? Why they spend so much into keeping you divided? Why they have us in this cycle? And the reason is when we in these cycles, this is what we're focused on. This is what we're focused on. People are so passionate these days about these things. Literally, you have mother against mother, father against father. I'm sorry, mother against son, daughter, father against son, daughter, and vice versa. Excuse me. This is what we're gonna enter the second scripture. I told you we are gonna get into Matthew 24 yesterday. So let's go there. This is very important that we get this understanding. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to get this voice down, man. It's so ticklish right now. I sorry. I had to drink a little bit of this water. Um, let's go to Matthew 10. I don't like to I don't like to do this. So I don't like to go into like one scripture or one passage. I like to give context. If you read this, Jesus is talking about the end times, right? The end days, how it's gonna be, and it ain't even saying the end days. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. He's talking about how it's gonna be when the coming of Son of Man and the progression to the end, right? Um, So that's what it's talking about, right? It gives you a description of what's going on, and we seeing a lot of this stuff going on. But let me read. We're gonna start at verse 10. Matthew 24:10, and it reads, "And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another." 11, and many false prophets. Well, no, we don't need to get into 11. Just stay with 10. Many shall be offended and betray one another and hate one another. That is the why. That is the why to keep us these three things. This is why to keep to keep us offended. Look at today. You can't say a thing without offending someone. Is that not true? People are walking on eggshells. Good people are walking on eggshells because they're scared of offending someone. I remember I heard a conversation about the young folks that have it. Now, I don't know if I don't know where the conversation was happening, but I know the context. It was a young white kid, and he was like, "I'm so scared to speak around my black friends because I don't know what to say." But he loved his black friends, but he didn't know what to say because he didn't want to be racist. He didn't want to be racist. It's Don't get it twisted. It's racist people out there, and that's sad, and we gotta fight with that. In 2022, we still have to fight that. That sucks. but you generally know or generally have a good idea of who's racist or who has, or you know how to look for tendencies, right? This is just using race as an example. There's other examples I can use for the different other things that they keep us divided on abortion and all this. But this kid was scared to be friends with his friends because he didn't want to be offensive. He didn't want to offend nobody. This is where we at. And this says many shall betray one each other. And then it says many shall hate one each other. What do you think this cycle is doing? It's setting up people to be offended. It's setting up people to hate. It's setting up people to love themselves and hate one another. The why. Actually, this should have been under how. But the why is once that happens, you're only looking at each other. You're not looking at the governments. You're not looking at the kings. You're not looking at the leaders. You're not looking at those who are in power. And a lot of times, the people in power, listen to me. A lot of time, the people in power. I'm gonna say it one more time so you can really hear me on this one. A lot of time, the people are in power are not the ones that run and control the government. It's not those who run and control the government. It's those who has enough money to pay for people who run and control the government. It's those who pay for the ones who run and control the government. I hope you guys are hearing this. I hope you guys are hearing this. Now, how do we solve this problem? There's many ways to put this problem that's going on with the cycle of division is vast. It is so listen, I can go deeper into this thing. You have a lot of good content creators out there who can give you names, people, all that good stuff. That's on you to do that's on you to do your research. And that's where it starts. It starts with you doing your research. What did I say about the problem? You're never gonna solve them until you understand them. You're not gonna solve these problems until you start understanding these problems. I really hope the audio is good on this. Cause this some good teaching right here, but so once you do your research and start understanding, you go in that research with the who, what, when, where, how, and why. You do your research with those things right there. You get a good understanding. See, the problem happened is this. I remember when you had the secret society, the big time of the secret society, and this is before the woke stage. But we was in the stage of finding out stuff. And they called them conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories. Just about every seemed like just about every conspiracy theorist, every conspiracy has been confirmed. But we're in the stage of wokeness, but then first it was the stage of conspiracies, right? Oh, this going on, this going on, this going on. And now people are saying they're woke because they know. And then, they morphed wokeism into something else or into an ism I ain't getting into all that. I don't care about all that. That's just another way of division. They gonna use wokeism. They're using wokeism to divide you. But once you go do your research and you find out who are the kings, who are the kings? That's all I got for you today. Um, I hope this helped you. Leave a comment and let me know. If you think I'm just preaching hogwash, that's your opinion. You have the right to leave that. If you think, man, this is some good stuff, that's your opinion. You have the right to leave that. At the end of the day, I've given you something you can use to go validate what I'm saying and go validate what's wrong. I'll validate to see what's wrong. Remember the what, the when, the where, the how, and the why. Once you get an understanding, once you understand the problem, you can fix the problem. I always leave by saying, I love you, God loves you, God bless. Y'all wanna watch the lake for a little bit? Man, this thing is so beautiful, man, and it's so peaceful. How long did I go? 36 minutes. Okay. Okay, I ain't keep you guys forever. You guys have a great one. Love you.